Edition of the Professor Joy podcast. Professor Joy, all is well with you?
Beautiful. Thank you
Beautiful.
so much for asking.
Steffi, how are you?
Amazing.
Good. And I am Gary Metzger. I am a professor of journalism at California State University, Long Beach. Remember that we are live on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. And we hope that you will follow us on all our social media.
Facebook and iHeartRadio.
Oh, and iHeartRadio. Very good.
Yeah.
iHeartRadio.
Yeah.
Are you going to be when iHeartRadio does their big Christmas concert? You'll be
I'll
be a
be
host
there.
of
I'll be there. Yeah.
of the iHeartRadio.
Absolutely.
I would tune in.
I'm
immediately.
available to be anywhere anyone wants me to be.
Okay, that's good to know.
I mean, I also have. I'm hoping that my friends, 7 of them, I'll be able to show up wherever they go.
I would hope so too. I would hope so too.
Why are you laughing?
So, Professor Joy and Steffi, I would like to present to you today a couple of articles that may make you a little uncomfortable,
Okay.
maybe not, but I would like to put out there to you and to the people watching us and to those of you who are on the JoyScore app, and we hope there's many of you there, that perhaps phones are not the problem. Okay? The phone is not the
You
problem.
mean the smartphone?
The smartphone.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
The phone is not the problem. We know that digital devices have reduced our attention span. And I even teach this to my classes, Steffi, that a goldfish has a longer attention span than a person.
Yeah, wow.
It's true. That blue light disturbs our sleep. And that smartphones are savaging the mental health of the young and of teenage girls in particular. But there is one author whose book came out 3 weeks ago who would like to battle that concept. His name is Pete Echelis, and his new book is called Unlocked. It was published on March 21st. He is a professor of psychology and science communication at Bath Spa University in the United Kingdom.
What's the name again?
The name of the book is Unlocked. Unlocked. Okay. He says that there is contrary evidence that digital devices cause various harms: poor mental health, sleep deprivation, shrinking its attention spans. He says that the evidence for that is weak. He's taken a hard look at the evidence on how screen time affects our sleep, attention span, and mental health. And he posits, Professor Joy, that it's not that clear cut, that there's not a true definition of what screen time is, for example.
Well, in fact, there are many areas which are being researched right now dealing with smartphone, which has electromagnetic transmission from the device to your earbuds, anything like that. So it's said that you're better off using, the earbuds with wire connected to the phone, because there is no transmission there. It's connected device. But when you're using wireless, it's causing electromagnetic transmission and waves, which is harmful to your heart health.
Wow.
And they say, please never, the pocket of shirt pockets are on the left here.
Yeah.
You know what's under that pocket?
Your heart.
your heart.
Yeah.
It causes damage to it. In fact, my friend Stuart Fisher, you may know him.
I do.
So patients have gone to him and said, Doc, I got a problem. He said, do you keep your phone here? He said, yeah. He said, stop doing that. Because electromagnetic waves cause damage to your organs. Okay? Now, so that's one aspect. Now, I like to talk about my favorite, which is the second aspect. Does anyone know when Facebook started?
2005.
Sir?
1998.
2007.
Ah,
That's when iPhone came out.
okay.
iPhone and Facebook. Well, Facebook has caused more damage than iPhone because I facetiously, humorously call Mr. Zuckerberg Fuckerberg
Right.
because he fucks all the teenagers up and was apologizing to the parents of the teenagers who lost their lives in front of Congress. It's not a made-up story, by the way. It's everywhere in the news. It was an open discussion. And he also had a bunch of his cronies with him. Now, two things, in my opinion, have caused the biggest harm to human body and health is smartphone and Facebook. The next would come Instagram and TikTok. But there is also, there is yin yang. Have you heard of yin yang?
Absolutely.
Day and night.
Yes.
So because they have that, we have Joy Score to heal people up from depression, anxiety, and obesity, and low self-esteem, and all that. That's what Joy Score is for, to help those people who are suffering from those symptoms and inadequacies, because that's what Joy Score does. So anyway, going back to you, and this is the part which I really enjoy talking about. Have you heard of 7 wonders in the world?
I have heard about the 7 wonders of the world, yes.
There are also 7 threats in the world to society. And that's 7 people. The greediest people in the world, 7 of them, who have caused tremendous threat to human society. And I'm going to give you those names in the list of highest to lowest priorities. Mr. Zuckerberg,
Okay.
Mr. Putin, Kim Jong-un, Xi of China, President of Iran, Netanyahu,
Recording in progress.
and Mr. Trump. Oh, someone is recording me. I hope I don't
Maybe
get
that's a
After
good
you-
thing.
After you mentioned a name. Maybe.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Maybe Mr. Zuckerberg is
You know, for sure, I have no doubt that out of these 7 people, somebody is going to send somebody to kill me. But it's okay.
it's okay.
Absolutely. I'm not worried about death. I just want to make a contribution and be known to the world out there that these people are greediest son of a bitches who should be taken out of this world, in my opinion, who are causing so much harm to human society and threatening the human democracy. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
How can Trump be the front runner of Republican Party, which is a decent party? It's not a bad party. How can he be the front runner of it? The guy is a scumbag. I'm sorry, I shouldn't be saying those kind of things. I get carried away. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
you do.
I have
It's
emotions.
okay. All right,
Emotional.
I'm going to reintroduce the topic and say that perhaps phones aren't the problem.
No.
Phones aren't the problem. So this Etchelis,
Uh-huh.
author of this book, Unlocked, And you know this because you have your doctorate degree, that correlation does not imply causation.
No, no.
And so he argues that instead of time spent on a smartphone causing mental health issues, it could be that mental health issues cause people to spend more time on their phones.
It's the algorithm. Did you know that why people stay on Facebook for so long, Instagram so long, TikTok? Because they have put in algorithm to hook them up,
Yeah.
and they don't let them go. Do you notice that or not?
Yeah. I'm on TikTok probably more than I should be.
Me too. Me too.
So that's the problem, is the algorithm. In fact, people have gone and told Mr. Zuckerberg, I said, sir, our app causes harm to teenagers. He said, it's okay. As long as I make money, I don't give a fuck about it.
Yeah.
So this book also makes mention that lawmakers around the world are starting to propose laws that would significantly impact the way that people use their digital devices.
Laws.
Senator Josh Hawley, who is a Republican from Missouri, has proposed a bill that would ban children under 16 from social media sites. And in the United Kingdom, Prime Minister Rishi Sunak is reportedly considering doing the same thing. Also, sorry, go ahead.
So this is now, it's interesting how I think and how the world thinks. I think what you're talking about today is maybe the most significant problem in the world. We're going to see in about 10 years the impact of what it's doing today. These are the things which take time.
Right.
You'll see already the impact of social media is being seen in young generation workforce. I have a friend of mine, you may know him, his name is the guy who's HR manager at the gym, and he was part of the Joy Score board, but I'm bad with names, but it'll come to me.
Okay.
But he said that young people today at work, they feel entitled. They don't want to do the work, but they want to have all the benefits and the highest pays, but not put in the work. So now it's going to get worse. Wait till this generation shows up at work.
Right.
I'm worried about in like 15 years
Uh-huh.
the drivers on the road.
Drivers, oh yeah.
Because their attention span, the young kids now, their
Uh-huh.
attention span isn't very long.
Really?
Yeah, I'm worried.
She's right, because that attention span is something we don't talk about. Well, in a way you are talking about it. But this really is going to be the major issue years down the line.
Right. So another example he cites, here are the two where they're proposing these issues, the senator here in the
Right.
United States
Right.
and the prime minister in the UK. In South Korea, Professor Joy, in 2011, they have something called the Cinderella Law.
Huh.
The Cinderella Law, Steffi. It bans children under 16 from playing online video games between midnight and 6 a.m.
Love it.
Analysis of the law, though, Professor Joy, suggests that it only increased the amount of sleep that the average young person got by only 1.5 minutes.
Oh, wow.
90 seconds, Professor Joy, while also increasing the amount of time they spend on the internet during the day. So while they couldn't do it between the hours of midnight and 6, they were spending more time on the internet during the day. And that isn't exactly the outcome that the South Korea legislature was looking for. So
here is my doctrine. Parents, world leaders, and researchers all have to come together and agree on what you are talking about. Because this is, I think, more important than anything else in the world today. The kind of damage it's causing to the young minds. You know, teenagers by nature are suffering from low self-esteem. And pandemic has made it worse. It didn't help. It made it worse because they got isolated, lonely, and all kinds of stuff. In fact, pandemic left us with another pandemic, and that is depression, anxiety, and obesity.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And when pandemic hit us, I had my PhD researchers to find me evidence of how joy score or joy can help people with immunity, because it came out that pandemic is hurting people with low immunity first and harder. So I say, okay, is there a relationship? Yes, there is.
Mm-hmm.
People with higher joy score have higher immunity, meaning more difficult for pandemic to hit them and kill them. So I said, perfect. And at that time, our app wasn't quite ready. I said, guys, I need this app to be out there now.
Right.
It's the matter of life and death for people who are being hurt by pandemic. You know, if they can improve their joy score and have better immunity. Now, I also have found out through experiment that there is a direct correlation between joy score and credit score, health score. So joy score is like the foundation of human life in my way of looking at it. So this is where we are. So parents, world leaders, and researchers have to come together in developing a directive which everybody can agree on. Now, whether it's 16-year-old or 14-year-old or 12-year-old, in fact, I think the magic number of teenagers where they start suffering from, do you know what that age is? When kids get incarcerated or start getting incarcerated?
12 years old.
12-year-old. Mr. Phillips, Braden Phillips,
Yeah.
the deputy chief of police of Long Beach, was 1,300 police officers. When I asked him, by the way, he's our chief operating officer. I said, Braden, what age do kids get incarcerated? He said, 12. I said, are you kidding me? 12-year-olds are babies. He said, yeah, because that's when they're looking for joy. And they find it in crime, gangs, illicit sex, and behavior that is not appropriate.
So this author of Unlock concludes that we, parents, world leaders, have let
Researchers.
the technology industry off the hook.
Right.
He says that we've gone off the track with a lot of these sorts of technologies. They do not have well-being as the number one concern, and I think that needs to change, he said. In order to have those sorts of conversations with the industry, we need to be able to identify and talk about the problem appropriately and in a not sensationalized way.
You know, the other thing which very recent and is going to be unpredictable for a while, and what it's going to do is AI,
Yes.
because that is so unpredictable right now. We only focusing on the social media, the smartphones, technology, electromagnetic transmission and stuff like that. But we don't know what AI is going to do.
Right.
Because it's so new and fresh. I mean, it's going to have a huge impact on our lives.
Absolutely. Here's the other article. It's from New York Magazine.
Okay.
And it really stood out to me because, once again, the dominating theme is that the phone isn't the problem. But this time, this author argues that parents are the problem.
Absolutely.
Parents
Number one
are
problem
the-
is the parents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is what they argue, that it's the parents that it's the issue. It's not just the parents who can't afford childcare, whose children are addicted to their phones by age 10. Many parents of means and privilege rely on phones to keep their kids happy to a degree. She also said that kids who aren't on iPads at the restaurants are the ones who get remarked on, not those that who are. So,
You know, the parents' problem is unique and significant. And my belief is, and my doctrine is, that there are 50% of the kids who are born in this world are unplanned and unwanted. 50%. Steffi is raising one. And why does it happen like that? Does anyone know?
parental
Mr.
neglect.
Mr. Metzger, you're a mature guy, a professor.
Neglect by the parents.
No.
No?
There is something called sexual pleasure. And my doctrine is people should not date. There should be no dating between men and women, opposite sex, unless they have a joy score of 50. No sex unless they have a joy score of 55. And no children unless they have a joy score of 60. Because if they're not grounded, they should not have children. It shouldn't be a matter of next morning saying, oh, I'm pregnant. Really? How did that happen? Oh, God did it. There's something to do with someone other than these two idiots
Yeah.
who all of a sudden are pregnant. And one of them wants it, one of them doesn't want it.
Going back to what you were saying, I think we live in a different time. So you used to be able to get by off a one income household. So now that you need two incomes to keep a household going, then the person that raises the kids has more work to do.
Right.
So they need to come up with a way to entertain the kid.
Educate? What do you-
Entertain them
entertain the
while
kid.
they're maybe working from home or
Right.
whatever works for them. So I think it's kind of like we're forced to use the phone or the TV to entertain the child. While I know I do it while I have to get some work done. So
You know, she brings up a good point. And I didn't think of it this way.
It brings up a great point.
Yeah, because most convenient device is to put them in front of a TV or give them a phone, play with this game or whatever. But what happened to those games you and I used to play when we were growing up? They were like stacking games, card games, stuff which had no electronics. No,
we still have them, but he wants me to play with him. So,
that's the thing.
Yeah.
See, in order to play those games, you have to play with them.
yeah.
You cannot just give them the phone and say, go away, or put them in front of a TV and say, just watch. You have to work with them. And parents don't have the time to do that.
Yeah.
So parents are guilty of it.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That's what this author said. Her conclusion was we can't expect our kids to emancipate themselves from their devices until we are more self aware about our relationship to the technology.
And involvement with the kids.
Yeah.
See, what happened to, like, while you were talking about all this, I like to hear about a guideline that parents have to allocate minimum of so much time a day to play and work with kids, nurturing the kids.
Yeah.
I mean, how would they be nurtured if you don't have the parents doing it? You know?
Yeah.
So, number one, or the highest problem is the parents. Then you have the greedy people of the world who, for money, don't care what kind of damage is caused to the kids. And the third is the leaders of the world. Like all the leaders of the world, when they have get-togethers in Davos, rather than drinking wine and enjoying themselves, they should be talking about issues the kids are going through today.
Yes.
You know, how do we take care of their welfare
Yeah.
and future?
I agree.
Yeah, this author said, I would be very interested to read a study of parents explaining why they have their children eat dinner in front of an iPad. For many people, it's exhaustion
Right.
at the end of a long day. But for others, it's an unwillingness to deal with the challenging task of teaching your kids how to act.
Yeah. You know, a few weeks ago, I forget the name of another author you talked about who said there should be minimum of so much time kids need to spend in nature.
Yes.
And I totally agree with that, because that would take them away from these smartphones and devices and take them to nature. They don't even know what nature is anymore. The only thing they know of nature is the pictures they have seen on their devices.
Yeah.
They've never been out playing in the nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
One final thing that this author brings up, and that is talking about Apple and Google and Samsung. You know, they know enough to withhold mobile devices from kids, but they're not going to stop because they sell so many phones.
Yeah,
No, but see,
wow.
the thing is, you can now, as much as we are criticizing the smart devices, you know that smart devices are so intelligent that you can program and limit them, what kids can do and not do for how long, and you can do anything you want.
But how many parents do that?
Parents need to deal
Right.
with it, you know. So number one culprit here is the parents. Number two is the greed of these people out there, 7 rich human beings who
Right.
don't care about kids and the future of the kids. And then we have the world leaders, you know.
Right.
Because unless the world leaders recognize, now, we at our federal, state, and Congress and leadership are starting to talk about it. That's the reason they brought Zuckerberg and his cronies in front of them and questioned them. And they said, look, your employees are telling you that how you have set up these programs are causing harm to teenagers, and you don't do anything about it. As only apologize. Well, apology doesn't fix it.
No, it doesn't. No. So parents, we love you. We hope you'll continue to be on JoyScore and use our app and be in our social media and everything. But take care of your kids.
Beautiful. Thank you, Professor
Thank
Metzger.
you.
Have a great week, everybody. We will see you back